Okay, so friggin' we got supervisor here, making sure it's going according to plan there. Friggin' Sylvester, dirty old cat. But gotta start on her today, cleaning up the crap and getting all the gaskets changed, the O-rings and whatnot. Look at these friggin' things, for frig's sakes. Like what's that? Come on, really? But anyway, so we're gonna need to change all them friggin' things, and that's where the oil cooler goes. And Mike's working on the air filter there. Look at that, just deckered, just dripping wet. But so cleaning parts and stabbing her back together. Vacuumed out all the oil out of the chooch there, and the vacuum was dinked anyway, but don't tell him though, for real. But, so I'll show you where this guy goes. See, I don't know if I showed you the other one was ripped, but that guy just sits down in there. Just like wet. And the oil cooler stabs in on top of it, so I gotta go, beg my pardon. Okay, so there you go, new gasket. Got her all put together there. Ready to put in. Cleaned her up, you know, where we needed to or whatever. Friggin' didn't end up going to get the parts washed last night, so just used rags and stuff and a vacuum, and we vacuumed up all the dust and oil and grease and crap around the intake holes and out of the oil cooler channel chooch hole. So anyways, we stab her in there and bolt her down. Okay, so we got the oil cooler and all that bullshit bolted back in. So I got me a 35 millimeter freeze plug and just pounded her in there nice and flush. Used a 15th 16th son of a bitch in the old poundy pound. So I'm going to stab that back in. But so there's the oil cooler all bolted down. The gasket's nice and thick and it squeezes up in this nice gap all the way around there. So you know, I sort of did the four corners to sort of tighten her all down, because the gasket squishes probably 3 or 4 millimeters, eh? So, and then just went around and around and around a few times, make sure it's all nice and tight and I didn't forget any. And so we'll get this each air cooler in there, beg my pardon. So I got the gaskets laying there, and they'll just flop around in there when we try to fish this great big son of a bitch in there. Friggin' alternator brackets and friggin' some sort of a friggin' throttle chooch and plate antler motor choocher on there and stuff, and like holy crap, can you make it any bigger? But so before I took all the bolts out of it, I made myself a little drawing there, or so, because like some of them have studs on them and this and that, and they're different lengths, and I mean they're not, but these two are shorter for the EGR choocher and stuff. So this one back here's got a ground on it, can't forget that, or it's not going to run. But you're going to want to you can see the injector choochers are right there, so you want to be careful you don't crack into one of them, because that's gonna suck. They're like 2 something a piece. So anyways, here we go. Okay, so you're gonna want to put a little piece of zip tie or something. This one's got a little foam bit thing on it that stops the thing from sliding down, but the thing goes down under there, and then there's another one right there that has a zip tie antler onto it, so that'll slide right down in there. Totally cocks over your whole program. You'll have to take the intake out again, but so I just use the antler there, map out your friggin' guys and whatnot. And it's totally a pain in the ass to line up the 2 gaskets, but it's possible because I can do it. So. But I don't know if you can get a shot of my pliants or not, but it does make you leak. Makes you leak quite a bit. But anyways, and then we cheeched. Okay, so by this time you're going to say more swear words than you ever thought you knew, and this and that, but you can see the friggin' intake is in. I mashed the wiring harness back down, and so we just got to sort of figure out where everything goes. So the hard part's done, the oil cooler's done, and the intake is back in. So it's just a piece of piss from there. Just smash all the turbo and the drain tube and the bracket for the turbo, and it's a little bit tricky getting the you know, the Y pipe into the turbo, because there's like this little choo-choo fitting here. I could show you over here. There's like this little flange rim antler. It just fits just so slightly inside of there, right? But it's like such a perfect fit that any slight little bit off and you'll end up with a gap there and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we've been the nicest people to, like, I mean, there's no reason to pry on the turbo like that. You just get between the casing and that little, like, the only thing, once you get the 3 bolts out, that's where the drain tube comes out, right? You just sort of get your little son of a bitch under there and just give it a little bit of a pry up, so it's just bloop, and it just slides right off, and then you can wrestle it out of there. But you know, there's now I've lost all my nuts and bolts for the bracket, son of a bitch. But anyways, did you think I knew that many swear words?
Well, I had no idea.
You knew I knew a lot though, right? But just some of them were pretty intense. But friggin' rights. Hard part's done, so just smash back together now. Beg my pardon. Okay, so I got the turbo choocher back in, and the like the mount, and the bracket from the tailpipe there slid all the way down, so I climbed under there and grabbed that. But I got all the injectors plugged in and the wiring harness laid back where it's supposed to go, and I need to put the turn and chooch stick up antler back in the oil chooch and antler and stuff like that. So coming along, you know, not too big of a deal. Just gotta, you know, just do one bit at a time. Try not to forget anything, because you end up, you don't want to friggin' forget something at the choocher and not you know, and have to pull the son of a bitch apart again. But anyways, come along. So I'll just give you a quick tip here. You see the little dink right there, little antler, and then there's this, the back one, and there's a flat spot, and the other side there's another one of them little dinks. But you can see, if I can move right there, there's that little ledge, and there's another one over there, and then at the back there's that little lip, a little sticking up a antler gizmo antler. So I thought I'd tell you about that rather than letting you fight with it, because the first time I did this to my truck, that back antler wouldn't sit down. I couldn't see or figure out why. It was just pissing me off. I said a whole bunch of unnecessary swear words, so a bonjour, you are welcome for that little tidbit of info. And don't forget your turbo drain tube. It just slides up under there, and these two antlers just sit on those two little ledge friggin' things right there, so it's just flopping around in there like a flounder. So I almost forgot. I've almost heaved her in there without the drain tube on there. That would have made me mad, so beg my pardon. So there's where the drain tube pops in. You can see it just sits in there like that. So you just gotta, there's like a little ledge. I don't know how good you're gonna be able to see it, but there's like a little flared out bit. So you just stab your screwdriver, flathead screwdriver in there while you're grabbing the top and wiggling it. Friggin' flies. And yeah, just stab her in there. So you got to make sure when you're setting the turbo on top of that, that you line up that spigot right there with the bottom hole of the turbo choocher. I showed you that earlier, but beg my pardon. Anyways, I got to do this. Well, there she is so far. Friggin' almost together. Couple tubes and different things, couple lines, but I gotta bolt this friggin' thing in. I can't find my 1/2-inch drive 15 mil friggin' socket, because we're limited on extensions, and that's the only one that's gonna work. And of course I can't friggin' find it, and I can't go on any further without it, so that's friggin' awesome. Okay, there she is. Just gotta finish hooking up this air box there. Not gonna start it today because the air filter's totally dicked, and we need to get a couple more things, and I gotta do shit tomorrow out in Inwood, so probably won't start it until Thursday. But hopefully we can find another air filter for this stupid thing, because that's just totally dicked. It's like full of coolant and oil and bugs and dirt, and it's just absolutely dicked. So anyway, she's back together. We'll be firing her up here shortly. Got to put oil and coolant in it still and piss around, and it's already 20 after 4, so we better go cheech, and until tomorrow, don't let the Walters get you. So last thing to do is take that fuel cap off there and give the the ignition a chooch, and then it'll fill up with fuel and you can screw her back on. But of course it freaking busted off because it's too tight in there, so I'm gonna try channel locking it off. And I was just kidding about not starting it today, but I might not be now. Beg my pardon.
Yeah, she's spitting out fuel, dude. That's not good.
Okay, so friggin' she sprung a leak. It's decked. It's tried to get it off to get the air out of there to get her to fire, but I cranked it and cranked it and cranked it, and it's not building oil pressure yet. So I'm going to just bust this cap off. We need to get a new one anyway. So beg my pardon, and for real this time until tomorrow, don't let the friggin' watchers get you. Oh, he did it. Look at this guy. How you doing? So yeah, we'll just maybe tomorrow night or something we'll swing by Ford and we'll get some filter and a cap and we'll smash that on there and hopefully we can start this bitch. Friggin' rights we will.